Okay, page 4. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha driven for all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha driven for all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I be a Buddha dependent for all sentient beings. Sanye Joda Zoge Jonam Da Chanchu Pardo Dani Gyaksu Che Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Chola Penjere Sanye Drupare Sho Sanye Joda Zoge Jonam Da Chanchu Pardo Dani Gyaksu Che Dage Penjere sanje dubare sho sanje joda soge chonamla chanjo bardo dane gyabzo che dage jinso kebe sonamgi tola Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham data tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye swaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye swaha Om ye dharma prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye swaha All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessational causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, so the first session we're talking about the how emptiness equals dependent origination, how a dependent origination equals a middle way, therefore emptiness equals middle way. This one. And we also talked about what the Buddha taught in the Rice Seeding Sutra, that whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, and whosoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. And in this context, we learned a little bit about the dependent origination, the 12 links, and we also need to learn a little bit more, still more, on dependent origination. And the second point which we are talking about is where the Buddha taught, because this exists, that exists, and because this is produced, that is produced, and because of ignorance, the karma arises, because of which consciousness, then the sense sources, the name and form, sense source, and so forth. So explaining this, when the Buddha taught, because this exists, that exists. So these 3 points, in 4th century AD, the great Indian master, Arya Asanga, and in fact, amongst the great Indian masters, Arya Nagarjuna, Arya Sangha, these are the 2 names who have been particularly respected for being the trailblazers of 2 major traditions of Buddhism, philosophical traditions. Arya Nagarjuna as a trailblazer for the Madhyamaka philosophy, middle way philosophy, and Arya Sangha as a trailblazer for Chittamatra philosophy. Meanwhile, keep in mind that Arya Sangha, his own philosophical view is that of Madhyamaka, but he is a major contributor, and not only major contributor, also the trailblazer of Chittamatra. What do you mean by trailblazer? It means that the Buddha taught these philosophical systems 2,500 years later, 2,500 years ago, and then at one point there was a gap where the Chitta philosophy and Madhyamika philosophy, they say on a larger scale it disappeared. These two traditions disappeared. And even before, while the Buddha was still alive, the teaching, the Madhyamika philosophy and Bodhisattva's teachings, they were so less given by the Buddha. And at one point, Ananda, the Buddha's own attendant, Ananda, he stood up and asked the Buddha that this teaching, the Bodhisattva teaching, this is something so precious, extremely precious, and after the Buddha assuming Mahaparinirvana, who is going to disseminate this teaching? Who is going to hold this teaching, give this teaching? And the Buddha made a prophecy that yes, that's true, that this teaching, because that Buddha did not really give this teaching too often. Mostly the teachings are given today, what we say is Theravada Buddhism, or Vaibhashikas, for personal liberation. That is something which the Buddha taught mainly, and whereas the Bodhisattva's teaching was so less given. And the Buddha acknowledged that. And the Buddha indicated that after about 100 years, so there are the varying prophecies made. One said after about 100 years, there's going to be a monk by the name Naga. And he will preserve and disseminate this precious teaching of the Bodhisattvas, minor teachings. And then when he leaves the world, he will take birth in a particular world system of where he's going to become enlightened. He's going to attain full enlightenment. So this is the prophecy made by the Buddha to Arya Nagarjuna. For Arya Sangha, the Buddha made the prophecy that after about 400 years, then a Sangha will come to promote this teaching. So the Arya Nagarjuna is mainly the aggregate for his being the one who, say, after the Buddha taught the minor teachings, then within a span of 100 to 100 years, it disappeared from the mainstream practice. And Arya Nagarjuna, he retrieved that. He retrieved the Madhyamika philosophy. He retrieved that. Because of this, he is treated as the trailblazer of the Madhyamika philosophy. Whereas after about the 200, 300 years after Arya Nagarjuna, Arya Sangha came, then he retrieved the Chitta philosophy, which was lost for so long. So therefore, the Arya Sangha is revered, respected as the trailblazer, the one who started the initial, who revived, and then they created the trail of Chitta philosophy after him. Okay, these are the two main figures amongst the Nalanda masters. Okay, so with this Arya Sangha, particularly Arya Sangha, is what we are talking about in the moment that we talked about, because this exists, the sutra taught, this exists, that exists, because this is produced, that is produced, and so forth. Arya Sangha put this together and call it as the three conditions. He put them together to refer to them as three conditions. Okay, for any impermanent phenomena, Arya Sangha said that these three conditions must be fulfilled. Three conditions. Okay, so what are the three conditions? The first, unwavering condition. Number two, condition of impermanence. Number two. Number three, condition of potentiality. Or condition of concomitancy. Condition of potentiality or condition of potentiality. Let me explain each one of them. What's the first one? Condition of Okay, unwavering condition. What is meant by unwavering condition? So this is, the first one was taught in the context of the Buddha, when the Buddha taught, because this exists, because that exists, this exists. For this is what Arya Sangha, they say, labeled as the unwavering condition, which means that any impermanent phenomena should necessarily have a cause. Because that cause exists, this result exists. Because that exists, this exists, which means that the unwaveringly there must be a cause. Without a cause, nothing can come into production. So therefore, there must be a cause. They cannot be a random existence. Number one. What's number two? The condition of impermanence, which means that not only there should be the cause must be impermanent. If the cause is permanent, again it cannot give rise to the result. Cause, not only there should be the cause must be impermanent. That is indicated by the Buddha's line, which said, because this is produced, that is produced. The first one, unwavering cause, is when the Buddha taught, because that exists, this exists. So that is what Arya Sangha indicated as the unwavering cause and unwavering condition. And then because this is produced, because that is produced, this is produced, indicating the condition of impermanence, which means that not only there should be the cause must be impermanent. If the cause is permanent, it cannot give rise to any effect. Okay, number three. What is number three? The condition of potentiality, or the condition of concomitancy, which means that okay, Ashwin, tell me, what fruit do you like?
Jackfruit.
Okay, so if you plant mango seed, don't expect jackfruit growing. You're getting it? If you like jackfruit, don't plant mango seed and expecting jackfruit growing. Which means that, say, what you plant will grow. Don't expect something unrelated growing. So, if you plant mango seed, only expect mango trees growing, mangoes growing, not jackfruit. So, mango seed has the potentiality to give rise to mango trees, not to jackfruit trees. So, say if you want happiness, plant the seed of virtues, don't plant the seed of negativities. If you plant the seed of negativities, don't expect happiness, expect miseries. So therefore, the miseries, the concomitant cause is the non-virtues. For the happiness, concomitant causes are the virtues. So therefore, say, if you want liberation, if you want to get away from samsara, you have to get away from the ignorance. To get away from ignorance, the cause of that is the wisdom. To get away from ignorance, the cause is wisdom. If you put effort in the ignorance, to build ignorance, and in the name of religion, you fight with others, kill others, and so forth, you are actually planting the negative seeds, and this will not take you to the intended goal of your religion. It will not take you to salvation. It will not take you to enlightenment. It will only take you to deeper miseries. Okay, so this is known as the condition of potentiality. Okay, so these three things are very important. So therefore, for us, that the condition of potentiality, keeping that in mind, then our job is, okay, finally the treasure is inside, and this treasure needs to be unveiled. For this, I need to remove what veils the treasure. What veils the treasure is afflictive obscurations, the cognitive obscuration. To remove that, I have to introduce a counter force, which has the potential to give rise to nirvana and Buddhahood. Okay, so this is very important. Having said this, next we talk a little bit about dependent origination. And dependent origination, His Holiness the Dalai Lama puts them so beautifully into three classifications. Sometimes His Holiness puts it in two classifications, and other times three classifications. So if you put it into three classifications, then two automatically you come to know. Okay, three classifications of dependent origination. The first, dependent origination of the results, dependence on causes. Dependent origination of the results, dependence on causes, number one. Dependent origination of the results, dependence on causes, number one. Number two, dependent origination of the wholes, dependence on parts. Whole in the parts. For example, this house is a whole, and the pillar, the walls, the ceiling, the floor, the windows, doors, these are all the parts. The whole's dependence on parts is number two. And finally, dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Okay, there are three levels of dependent origination. And when we say the three levels of dependent origination, it is not that they are contradictory. They are not contradictory to each other. They can be complementary. Okay, let's take the example of the flower. Let's say the flower. The flower fulfills the first level of dependent origination. Is there anybody who would like to explain it? How the flower fulfills the first level of dependent origination? Anyone? Yes?
The seed of the rose was planted, so the cause was created.
Exactly. So this flower is a result dependent on its causes in the form of the seed of the roses planted. That is the cause given rise to this rose flower. So that is the result. So that fulfills the causal dependent origination. Number two, that this flower also fulfills the second level of dependent origination. Anyone? Anyone? Yes.
Whole, because this flower is made up of parts like petals, sepals, stamen.
Yes. So this flower is made of parts like petals, stamen.
Petals, sepal, stamen and carpel.
Okay, wonderful, amazing. What subject did you take in college?
PCB and psychology.
Huh?
Physics, chemistry, bio, and psychology.
Okay. Yes. Okay, good. So it is dependent. It fulfills the second level of dependent origination because that it is composed of multiple parts coming together. A whole comes into being. So this is how this whole is nothing separate from these parts. Very good. And this is also fulfills the third level of dependent origination. Anyone can explain this? Omar?
The subjective mind projecting the flower.
Okay, so this flower comes into being by dependence on your subjective mind imputing it. How?
Mind labeling.
Mind labels it. Mind labels it. Okay, how many agree with the Omar raise hands? Mind labels it. Okay, most of us agree. Okay, my question to the rest of you who agree with Omar is that without the label, the flower does not exist. Is what he's saying. If the label is not given, then the flower does not exist. Is what he's saying. Hey, this is a challenge. Tim?
The flower still exists, but differently to how we see it. So the flower exists differently to, say, a cow or some other animal that would see it maybe as food, whereas our designation kind of imputes it with certain flower qualities that only we see.
Okay, so we see it the way we see because of the labels. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the cows they don't label it as the flower like the way do they may be, but the cow they label this as a food.
I haven't asked the cow. Potentially.
Do you have a pet?
Pardon?
Do you have a pet dog?
No.
No. And did you see anybody keeping a pet dog? Do you know anybody keeping a pet dog? Yes. So that pet dog labels the owner?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, how?
We've labeled the owner as sort of the thing that looks after it, the thing that keeps it safe.
What remember the label? So you forgot you forgot the meaning of the label. Simply because somebody does the action doesn't mean that there's a label. What is label? Anyone? Yeah, what is label? Over there, Gorang.
An identity, a word given onto something.
A label given, a word, a label given, this is a flower. So the dog says, this is my honor. Does the dog say that? Okay, these are questions that you have to explore. You're getting it? It's not that easy. It's not easy. Okay, anyone who likes to say, give a complete explanation? Anyone? Yes. Okay, there.
Maybe so label is a naming which doesn't
Happen with the dogs.
doesn't describe the third level. The third level of dependent origination. I think it's more about the formal identity of it, of the flower.
Okay, let's say how. So this flower is what? Dependent on mental imputation. How?
Because we impute flowerness onto this object.
Okay, we impute flowerness. How?
How is it?
Okay, let's say a child, 1-year-old child, does he impute himself as the minus, you said, flowerness, minus, I-ness? Does the child do that?
Yeah, in a way.
Day one, the child is born, not
No,
later.
not immediately.
Okay, which means so the I-ness is not there in the child. Yes, no.
It's arisen.
It's arisen, not at that time.
Yeah.
Not at that time he doesn't cry.
Yes.
He doesn't cry. If you don't cry, they will slap you to make you cry. You getting it? Which means there's the sense of I-ness, although the person does not give the label. Okay, what is the third level of dependent origination? Anyone? God. God is going through transition. Okay, what's the question? Okay, so you learned it from Maitri? What's the question? The question is that how do you relate the third level of dependent origination to this flower? It exists by the power of the label. How? Okay, Jack.
It depends on the mind as knowing it, and then the labeling is like another process, maybe we can call it.
It depends on the mind. It labels.
Apprehending and knowing.
The mind which apprehends it. So how does the flower depend on the mind apprehending this flower?
Without the mind, it just blends into everything else, right? I don't need to separate that thing from whatever else is going on.
Yes. So how does it depend?
My mind is calling this phenomenon separate, taking
From
away
other things.
and I'm calling it based on the other two levels. I'm calling it, labeling it, naming it.
Okay, if you don't label it, then it's not flower. Is that what I'm saying? If your mind doesn't label it, then it's not flower.
It's not separate from everything else.
Then everything's one.
Kind of, right? Or it can be, yeah, it doesn't have to road.
So which means that the 0.3 million years ago, before this Homo sapiens came, so everything's one.
Yeah.
Oh, everything's one. Oh, wow. So the Neanderthals, they embrace the tiger. We are one. Or they run away. We are different. You will eat me. I have to run. Okay, I thought Jack was saying something very profound. And he ended up into something strange concepts.
I got
Okay.
too much pressure, so I stopped.
Okay, George, the Ashwin?
Yeah, Geshe, so there is some object there in your hand, and the subjective mind comes up with a label, calls it a flower.
Okay, before your subjective mind comes and calls it a flower, is it flower or not?
No, it's not.
It's not a flower. Oh, that's interesting. So before the Homo sapiens were not the dinosaur was not dinosaur.
there was no
Label.
dinosaur.
So the dinosaur did not exist 200 million years
The
ago.
dinosaur existed, but the label dinosaur didn't.
This is what I'm saying. So dinosaur is not dinosaur if the label is not there, according to you. Okay, then it's better now.
We level it based on our own perception of previous experience, what we have learned from all this.
Okay. Okay, so let's say that at the time of dinosaur, so there's no label. Huh? If you don't know dinosaur, they do not eat any food. Because they don't label the food. Okay, anyone? Yes.
Wouldn't it just be names? Like I am Shubham, which is my label, so everyone sees me as Shubham.
Okay, your name.
Yeah, like flower would
Your name.
No, like if I am
Are you a name or not?
I am not a name.
You're Shubham.
But that's a name. Right?
This is what I'm saying. Are you a name or not?
Yeah.
Huh?
And not entirely. Shubham is not name.
Shubham is not name.
No, Shubham is name, but like Shubham is not Shubham name.
Huh?
Like I am not my name, but Shubham is.
Are you Shubham or not?
I am.
You don't change your mind.
And
You are Shubham. Shubham is a name.
yeah,
So you're a name.
no.
You are not name.
Yeah.
So how is it related to name?
Because it's a label, right?
Which one? You are label.
Shubham is a label.
Shubham is a label.
Like my
Shubham is a human being.
But then what if my name changes?
This is not my question. My question is, Shubham, are you man or label?
I'm a boy.
You're a boy. You're not a label. You're not a label.
Yeah, but everyone sees
You are label or not?
to a certain yeah.
Poor guy. Okay. Oh, yes.
If depends on your mental designation. If I don't see the flower,
Yes.
does the flower exist? Yes. But I am tagging it for my perception. So that means does the leaf fall when I'm not looking at it? It does. So if I do not perceive it, it doesn't exist for me, but it does exist on its own reality. But if I'm putting myself there,
Okay, that's interesting. So if you're not looking at the forest inside, you still say the leaves fall. How do you know that?
because I put myself there and thought about
Where? You are not there. In the middle of the Amazon. You are in Dharamsala. How do you
If I
know?
don't perceive it, it does exist on its own inherent existence, but I am.
How do you know that?
That's
How do you know that? Okay.
independence.
Himani. Okay, what Himani is saying is something very important. Say, whether I label it or not, there's something there. Something there. So what's the relationship with the label?
The self. I put myself with that self.
Or you connect with the object with the labels. Is what I'm saying? The self with the label, with the object.
This has to exist to mean that. So then there's a connection. Otherwise, for my mind, it doesn't exist. It exists for itself. So the flower doesn't know if I exist, but I am telling the flower that I exist. So it's not like a dependence on me.
Okay, how the flower is dependent on your mind. How?
No, I think that the flower is dependent on me, but the flower is not dependent on it.
Okay, so you are saying the third level dependent origination does not hold true. Is what you're saying?
No, it does.
Does it hold true or not? The flower, does it exist by dependence on the mind?
Yes.
How?
Because I need a mind to see it exist. So if there is
To see it exists doesn't mean the flower is dependent on you. You're getting it? So I need a mind. For example, I need a microscope to see the microbes. But it doesn't mean that microbes are dependent on me.
the flower exists in itself.
Yes.
I come and I say, this is the flower.
So for you to connect with the flower, your mind is involved. But flower per se doesn't depend on your mind. Is what I'm saying? But the third level says, yes, it depends on the mind. This is the key. You're getting it? So if you see that, this is why I said that what Himani said is very important. Not that what she said is correct, but this is how, what makes us, what keeps us intact in samsara, believing in things as intrinsically there, and our mind, and these two are two different entities, or in other words, things are independent from mind, just relate to the object, then your mind, the labels play, connect, otherwise the objects exist intrinsically. Like the dream. The dream goes, you see the dream, in the dream, you see dream goes as independent of your mind. The moment you wake up, you feel the relief because you know that the dream goes as empty from the object. There's no inherent dream goes there. It just came by the part of my mind, dependent on my mind. You're getting it? So the Buddha thought that everything is dependent on the mind, the way and the manner in which the dream contents depend on the dreaming mind. You're getting it? So the next is that, how do we know that? How do we know that? Okay, don't just say that, no, I don't believe in this. This is one extreme. And said, oh, who said it? Buddha said, it must be true. This is also one extreme. You're getting it? These are two extremes. So finally, it is for your well-being, it is for my well-being, that believing in things object real, if that creates all the tears, and the reality is that there's no objective reality, I must know that. Whereas believing in things as like a dream, if the tears come, then don't see things as dream-like. You're getting it? Finally, it's for your well-being. It's not about the Buddha, it's not about this, that, and so forth. It's about your well-being. So for your well-being, we come to know that from my experience of the dream, believing that the dream is real, dream goes as real, the fears arise. Discovering that dream goes as not real is coming from my mind. Depending on the mind, your fears dissolve. Finally, what do you want? Fear dissolve or fear arise? If you want to fear to continue to be with you, then be in the dream all the time. Whereas, if you want to stop the tears, the fears, get out of the dream, this is what it is. So, the next question is, how do we know that everything's like a dream? This next question. The third one is so important. To understand the third level, you have to understand emptiness. You're getting it? So, the question is, how do we know that everything is like a dream dependent on your mind? This is the next question. So, with this mind, let me quickly just share with you this, and then I'll ask you a question. You think about it seriously, and you think about it seriously. If I keep giving you the answers right here and there, it will not help. Okay, first let me say, do you agree with me? What are you seeing here? A flower. So the flower that you're seeing is, if you look at the same flower through microscope, you first will see the flower which otherwise looks so tender. Look at this. Amazingly tender. Texture is so amazing. But it appears so amazing. But if you look at through electron microscope, you see that these are all, you start to see the cracks, like the dry mud. Have you seen dry mud? Dry clay? What is that like? Cracks. The cracks. You will see the cracks. What are these cracks? These cracks are the partition of the cells, cell membranes, partition of the cells. Then you go deeper, you zoom in through the electron microscope, you'll start to see the nucleus distinctly, nucleus. Again, fine tune it, you'll start to see the chromosomes. You'll start to see the chromosomes inside. Through further fine tuning it, you'll start to see the DNA molecules. You're getting it? And what is chromosome like? Chromosome, the way and the manner in which in the textbook it looks like, 2x and so forth, looks so nice. It's not nice. In reality, chromosomes, they are like brownish, striped, snake-like structure. You're getting it? It's very repulsive to look at. And then you look at it, it's so beautiful. But you go inside, it's very repulsive to see. And You further fine-tune it, you will see the DNA molecules. You further fine-tune it, you will see the atoms. And the atoms, and thus far, you cannot check beyond this. Electrons, protons, neutrons, is this all outcome of the calculation, mathematical calculation, not that somebody has seen that through electron microscope. So the tiniest thing that they can see is the atoms, that's it. Beyond this, electrons, protons, electron with this mass, proton with this mass, proton, neutron, these are all through mathematical calculation and through some experiments. Okay, so with this in mind, what I'm saying is that what we see as a beautiful flower is, if you look at it from a different way of looking at it, you see it. Number one, the chromosomes, very scary things. And if you want to, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. When you see things, then the feeling is very different. So, how do we see this? Google search, the powers of 10. Just write, type, the powers of 10, and then see what comes out. And then you will see that how you magnify, keep magnifying by 10 times. Keep magnifying this. Then you will start to see first, you will start to see the cells, nucleus, then the chromosomes, then the DNA molecules. So this is what they're doing. The NASA company is doing, has done it. And there are several versions of this. You just Google search this. You must see this. Seeing is believing. First time I was, of course I saw that. And after that, Tibetas, we invited once the museum restoration director of one American museum. And we invited him to give a talk at Tibet House. And his specialization is into the restoration of the museum artifacts. And in his presentation, he showed how the restoration is done. He showed the picture, very old, maybe 1980. No, 1800s. In 1800s, very old picture of a lady was shown. And he said that this photograph is so rare and we have to restore this. They're all just damaged. And with the restoration, he showed the whole picture, very old picture. Of course, 1800s. How many years ago? Huh? Like 200, I don't know, maybe 200, is it? 20 years. Then what happened was that he was zooming into the eyes. He was to reconstruct the eyes. It's all damaged. And eyes, some part can be seen, and then he was zooming in to see the different layers in the photograph. But the eyes, otherwise it's human eye, the picture of the human eye. And zoom in, you see very strange things. Then the extremely unfeeling feeling started to come to me, to say, wow, the reality is very different. The superficial reality and the reality deeper down is very different. Then uneasy feelings started to come in me. Wow, that's amazing. What we see are so nice, eyeballs, so nice. So that way, this is exactly what we do. And now with this flower, let's say, with this flower, we use as a beautiful flower. You zoom in, you start to see the chromosomes, and chromosomes are very repulsive to see. And then you go further, you end up seeing the atoms. Okay, now just imagine that you end up there, you just see the pool of atoms. Okay, now do you see the flower? At that level, on the atomic level, do you see the flower? You don't see the flower anymore. Okay, now you have come too close to the object on the atomic level, and you just see the pool of atoms, no flower there. You're getting it? No flower there. So my question to you is, where is this flower you earlier saw? Where is this object you saw as a flower before I take you into on the atomic level? Where is that flower which you already saw? You said that this is a flower. Where is that flower? Here, where? Okay, so think very carefully. So Simran is saying is in the mind, right? Think of it very carefully. Where is that flower? Think of it very carefully. And when you think about it, you may get a feeling of some sense of uneasiness. Where is the flower? You cannot give the proper answer, the satisfactory answer. The uneasiness comes. In some cases, disturbance can come. If it does happen, you're very meritorious. You're discovering the reality deeper. The disturbance is this disturbance is emotional stir. Emotional stir because of the cognitive awakening. For example, let's say that, for a job interview, a person A comes. And of course, all the interviewees, they will come as though like they are the most competent person. Yes? You agree? They come as though like they are the most competent person for the job. And then they try to impress you. And you, let's say, you are so impressed by the person. And later, to discover that this person is not at all competent. So, in the next, the interview, again, the same person applies. And again, presenter was so competent. What do you think? Looks so competent, but you know that it's not competent. You know the reality. You're getting it? So, cognitive thinking affects your emotional world. For example, let's say, how many you were involved or you had the experience of the, prank? Playing prank. Makes sense? Yes? Yes? Okay. Prank, particularly your naughty brothers, right? They pretend it's so like they're ghost. They come to you, and you're so scared, right? And finally remove the what? Cloth, and it's your brother, and you start beating the brother, right? How many you did it? Makes sense? Okay. So why were you scared? It was just your brother. Why were you scared? The fear is an emotional state. So what triggered this fear in you? Because the thing goes there. Goes there. It's not a ghost, it's your brother. So why are you scared? Anyone? Hey, Ashwin, tell me.
Because you don't know once your head is covered, you don't know what's on the outside.
Okay, you did not know that it was your brother. So you thought that it was a ghost or whatever, right? So that thinking that this is a ghost, this is a cognitive mental state or what? It's a cognitive mental state. You think that this is a ghost. So that stirs fear in you. That is the emotional world, emotion. So the cognitive thought processes creates, arouses emotional states. The moment you come to discover this is your brother, now your cognitive thought changes its object from the ghost to your brother. Instantly the emotion changes. The fear changes to the fearlessness. It changes. The fear dissolves because of you have brought a new cognitive thought process. So cognitive thought processes, they are responsible for your emotional states. Now with this, let's say that we're talking about there's a shift in the cognitive thinking taking place. Before we talk about the atoms and so forth, I asked what is this? You said this is a flower. And imagine that you all love flower, and I ask how beautiful is it? You say it's a very nice flower. You like it. So this emotional stir, the emotion of joy is triggered within you. The moment I take you deeper through this NASA company's documentary, I take you deeper on the atomic level, then the flower disappears. So my question to you is, where is that flower which you earlier saw as a flower? Where is that? Now you are seeing just a pool of atoms. Where's the flower? You're not seeing a flower at all. Where's the flower? This is the question. So because of that, because of what is happening, there's a shift in your cognitive thinking happening. At first, cognitively you see a flower. Now cognitively you are seeing the absence of the flower. You're getting it? And absence of flower is not just what your mind is imagining, it's a reality that you're discovering. Because there's this uneasiness coming in your mind. Because a shift happening, uneasiness comes, because there was a belief that there was a flower there. Now that belief is shattered. That belief is shattered because of this uneasiness comes to your mind. If it does happen, this is a clear indication that there's a shift in your cognitive thinking is happening, which is very precious. So where finally you are able to successfully shift it fully, then the mind, instead of the fear is not because of the cognitive thinking, it's because of the shift. You're so used to the first that you don't want new adaptation. So now when you adapt to the new and you see this is reality, then you will quit the original way of thinking, the old way of thinking, and then in that new perspective, the mind is absolutely at peace. Like, so you discover that it's your brother, the ghost is empty, your fear dissolves. So that is the liberation. So therefore, the concept of liberation, concept of nirvana, from Buddhist point of view, from Buddhist teaching, it's amazing. It's not just, oh, you believe in Buddha, you pray to me, then you'll be liberated. No. Change your cognitive thinking, liberation happens. So therefore, the Buddha emphasizes so much on the wisdom. The wisdom. Awaken your wisdom and liberation happens. As long as you don't awaken your wisdom, no way, nobody can take you to nirvana. Nobody can take you to enlightenment. Okay, this is what it is. So with this in mind, the question is that where is this flower? Going into the atoms, you see the pool of atoms. The question, where is this flower? You getting it? Okay, so Simran says, it's in your mind. Anyone else? What do you think? Just think of it. You don't they say don't feel fixated, or don't feel that, okay, maybe my answer is wrong. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yes, what do you think?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Even if you intellectually see something beyond what that, so even let's say an example of a person whom you have a certain view of, and you realize this is your projection or your mental imputation, and that this person is actually very different, but that emotion still gets in the way, and so I don't know what still blocks you from embracing that is actually not the reality.
Okay, how many you resonate, your thinking, how many the thinking resonate with what Venerable Petronella is saying? Raise hands. That's true. Calling the intellectual, I know, but still the mind, emotional speaking, it is not ready to shift. Okay, this is interesting. Is anybody who likes to help me? This is a very interesting question. Is there anybody who likes to help me? Or did you get the answer already from the last 2 days teaching? Or you didn't get any answer from the last 2 days? You never heard anything, something of this kind? You remember?
Can I get a repetition maybe of the concept can help to bring the emotion?
Yes, now look, factual things. If anybody who likes to make me happy, the same concept, put in what we have learned. Anyone? Yes. Very good. 3 kinds of wisdom. You getting it? And what Simran is saying is the third one, constant habituation. So the first you have to study. That is intellectual understanding. So if you leave it there, emotions will not be changed. Emotions will remain just the same. Some people, they're so good in articulating things, but their mind is as short-tempered or as impulsive as before. So, which means the person they left everything on the intellectual level. So ordinary people, they don't even have the intellectual level. So therefore, ordinary people think that he is like a Buddha. Knowledge-wise, Buddha, but Buddha was full of anger. Right? Knows everything, but the anger is same, impulsion is same, craving for money, everything is same. So what's the use of this, right? So that is where the major problem comes. Where ordinary people, they don't even have the intellectual understanding. And somebody with a vast knowledge on the intellectual level, wisdom drawn through learning, but not translated to the reflection. That's the problem. So therefore, not only study, contemplate, and right from the beginning, even the studies should be in your mind that it is not for my, say, what, to make money out of that, or say, go to get a job at the university to become a professor. If this motivation finish, the likelihood for you to translate this into your, say, practice is so less. Few exceptions are there. Some people, they use this as they say, for you to get a job as a professor in the university. Meanwhile, you practice so well. This is so less in number. So, the number two, the reflection. With the reflection, what happens is that you get confidence. But the first, you get the information. Information doesn't mean anything, but that information is so precious that it allows you to think. With the thinking, then with the contemplation, what happens? You get the confidence. And at a certain point, you get a kind of confidence to such extent that if I get time to practice more for an extended period of time, then the transformation, can happen very confident. So that's number two. Then they're translating what you have studied, contemplated into constant repetition, repetitive practice. Then the emotions stir. So then what happens? The mind becomes fast. With virtuous thoughts, mind becomes fast and high quality. Fast and high quality virtuous mind will combat the fast and high quality negative mind. You're getting it? Our negative emotions, we discussed yesterday, our negative emotions, how fast are they? Doing? Fast, not fast?
Yeah.
Extremely fast. High quality?
Yeah.
High quality. Anger. Wow. In fact, I was so fascinated one time. One of my friends, his son maybe like 1.5 years or 2 years old. And the father, my friend, was deliberately trying to provoke his son, little boy. And I was just watching it. And the father kept his mobile in between the son and the father. And the son, little boy, he grabbed the mobile and kept it to himself. And the father, very confidently and with so much confidence, he gradually moved. The son is seen, gradually moved to grab the mobile from the son's hand, and he very confident, of course, with the strength, and yet very slowly he grabbed and pulled it from the son's hand and kept it towards his side. And I was watching this little boy. And the little boy, when the father kept like this, again the little boy went there to grab at it. Looking at his face, I could see high quality anger. This little boy. Nobody taught this boy this anger. From the face, I could see little boy, tiny, what do you call toddler. Anger quality is amazing. And also the body, the face, they are like shivering like this. And then grab it, like even the face, look at the mouth is like this. And the father again provoked him more, pulled it back. Wow, it's amazing. This is something to be combated. So to combat this, look at the quality, high quality. Look at the intensity, high intensity. Look at the fastness, it's so fast. So this is emotion, our emotion. So to combat this, we require the remedy, which is equally high quality, intense, fast. So that happens only when you gain first study, contemplation, you gain conviction. With the practice meditation, then gradually it becomes fast, high quality, and intense. Only then that transformation can take place. Till that point, no. Keep studying more, and don't practice it. You leave it like this. Then no, emotionally it will change. Even those people who want to change, the study, it'll take time, and then contemplation will take time. So doing these two things, you feel that some people they easily give up. Think that what's the point? I put a lot of effort. I studied, I meditated, but still my emotions are the same. My emotions not changing. Okay, don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep in mind, this is where the benefit of the learning. Look at the attributes of this emotion. High quality, intense, and very fast. So the study that I'm doing, meditation, emptiness, Dorji, so forth, are they fast? Are they high quality? Are they intense? If not, don't give up. Okay, now I know why my emotions are not changing. Why there's no transformation happening with my emotion? It's because of these three things. Now I have to make the wisdom, the bodhicitta, more powerful, more intense, more the high quality and fast. For that, I need a little bit of resilience. And these negative emotions, how long are we used to that? Are we used to these negative emotions for how long? Life after life after life after all these lifetimes. And Bodhiji Goswami mentions how long? Just a few months. Not even to really put into, let's say, the proper time, to put all them in the proper time, we say so less. And little practice that we do, the very next moment you meet with your friends, you meet with your family members and so forth, they will easily attack you, and then you, again, it's just like a dot of white paint grid, and the flood of black things will just wipe this off. This is how it works. So, therefore, we need to be fenced. We need to be fenced, be with good companions, be with good friends. And what is meant by good friend? Read. So here in this book, there is composition, what is known as 37 practices of Bodhisattvas. Just read that, and this will tell you what constitutes good friends, what are the bad influence, bad friends. Bad friends where? Bad friends, it says that no, I'm the demon. They will not come like this. Bad friends means just be with that person and your virtues decline. You study, usually you may be spending 2 hours in studies, and then your friend comes and, hey, let's go for pubs. Go to the pubs, right? No, I have to study. What study? You study no completion? Well, how long will it take? You're getting it. Many people say like this. How long will it take? Your study never finishes. Even PhD also finishes. Your study never finishes. When I finish, you look so boring nowadays. What happened? Come. And then you go, right? So you compromise your studies. So this is known as the unwholesome friends. So this is what we need to remember. You're getting it? Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
I resonate with what Venerable said, so it's a similar question, and I'm wondering if it's the same answer.
Yes.
So when I look at the flower, although I can do an analysis to arrive at the fact that the flower is not objectively real, I still see it so solidly there. And I'm wondering if the ability to see it as subjectively real also relies on the wisdom derived through learning, reflection.
Okay, what's the answer? 100% yes. 100% yes. Good. Okay. Okay, yes, Himani.
Question, I've been thinking about it since yesterday. Then I spoke about it as well. You said the absence of elephant is impermanent. Is permanent.
Oh, yes. I'm got shocked. Okay. Okay, I'm checking my heart. Okay. Okay, I'm glad.
So, how is that permanent? The absence of elephant, if there is no elephant.
Why not?
So, if there
Okay, what is your standpoint? Absence of elephant is permanent, impermanent from your point of view.
So let's say,
What do you think?
for me to introduce the absence of elephant, should I not introduce elephant first? And that's a concept. That means elephant or flower or whatever, that's a form. And if the form exists, it will disintegrate. And if the absence exists, it has to be correlated to its existence, right? So I am in the middle seeing all this, and I also need to exist, the mind also needs to exist in all this. My mind is probably permanent.
Your mind is not permanent. Your mind is impermanent. Absence of elephant is permanent.
So,
Okay, tell me. Say what is your background in studies? College? What's your subject in college?
architecture.
Okay, this is a creative person. So you have a sense of creativity. Okay, good. Tell me. The mind is impermanent. Absence of elephant is permanent. So do you mean to say the absence of elephant doesn't last long? Is what I'm saying?
For me to say there's absence, I need to introduce the
concept of the elephant.
If
Yes.
there is no concept of the elephant,
Then the absence of elephant cannot be understood.
so then I also need to exist to say that this is impermanent.
Yes.
How?
So you learn only one thing from me, how? Right, she learned this from me. I said something, I said how? Right? She learned that. She did not learn that the mind is impermanent. She didn't learn the absence of elephant is permanent. She didn't learn this. She learned how.
So I want to understand how, if there is no elephant, there is no mind, and there is no concept of the absence, how is the absence?
Let's not say if there is. Let's not speculate. Just let's say in this house there's no elephant. True? Not true? You don't have to speculate. It's a reality. So absence of elephant is in this hall or not?
There is no elephant, then there is the absence. But then
No. Just listen. Let us not. If there is no, you don't have to. If you know, if is required. In this hall, there's no elephant. Agree? Not agree?
Yes.
In this hall, absence of elephant exists. Yes, no.
Only if you say there is an elephant.
Only if, no if. Is there elephant or not?
If there is no God, then
This is a problem of the architects. Architects, they also have to be very creative. If this happens, then this. If this happens, then this. So therefore, this is the architect. They have to they think of things which before they actually come. Right? This is your job. Okay. Are you Buddha? Okay. Do you have absence of Buddha? Only if. No, that's very simple. Don't make it complicated. There's no elephant. How many agree reasons in the hall? There's no elephant. Absence of elephant is there in the hall. Reasons. As simple as that. What's the problem? Huh? No, this is not a problem or problem. It's a problem.
No, yeah, how is it permanent? If you bring the elephant, wouldn't it go? The
Huh?
absence would turn into presence.
No, in this hall right now.
Right now it's not there.
This is what I'm saying. Absence of elephant is there.
Yes.
She's
Meaning of permanent again is being misunderstood.
No, before that we have to settle that. First permanent impermanent, forget it. First we have absence of elephant exists or not exist. Once you say yes, then we have a common ground. Then we can talk about whether it's permanent impermanent. Huh? Okay, absence of elephant exists in the hall or not?
I think my idea of permanence is that.
Okay, that is a different story. That will come later. I'll explain to you. But first we have to settle the absence of elephant. Does it exist in this hall or not? Okay, where did you come from? From which place? Beer. Absence of beer in this hall. True, not true? Okay, good. Now we have found a common ground. Absence of beer is permanent. It's not impermanent.
But beer can cease to exist.
No. Beer doesn't exist at all in this hall. Beer exists somewhere there. 2 kilometers, what is that? About 2 hours from here. Otherwise, beer is absent here. This is reality. Beer exists outside, not inside. So you want to know, first you have to be sure that the absence of beer exists in this hall. In this hall. If you're dead sure of this, then we start from there. Absence of beer. Don't talk about beer. You're getting it? Absence of beer in this hall. This is permanent or impermanent. Okay, let me quickly explain this, so that let's say that what is in my left hand? Himani. Flower. What is my right hand? Very good. Okay. So you said nothing is there. You getting it? Now, is a flower in my right hand? No. Absence flower is my right hand? Yes. Yes. So it's not nothing, this absence. But you go to the streets, people say nothing is there. They're right, they're not wrong. But logically speaking, we can prove that there's the absence of the flower in your hand. There's reality. So if you say yes, there is something, it contradicts with the conventional world. If you say no, there's nothing there, it is against the law. It is inconsistent with the logic. Logically, it is inconsistent. So how to resolve this is that when the conventional world says nothing is there, they mean there's no substance there in my hand. So whatever is there in my hand should be absent of substance. You getting it? So absence of flower is there. It is absent of. It does not have a substance. Because it does not have a substance. So this is I'm taking you step by step. You need to remember the steps. Because my hand does not have any substance on it. Whatever exists there should be absent of substance. So therefore, the absence of flower in my hand should have no substance. So absence of flower does not have substance. If it does not have a substance, then there's no substance to undergo change. If there's no substance to undergo change, there's no change. If there's no changing, it is unchanging. What is unchanging is known as permanent. You're getting it? Permanent does not mean that it should last forever. Because, okay, let's see. In my hand, absence of flower is there. Absence of flower is there, yes. Now I put the flower back. Absence of flower is there. Absence of flower is gone. You're getting it? Absence of flower, although it's permanent doesn't mean that it should last forever. Permanent phenomena can last even for a fraction of a second like this. Let's say, sound of a clap. How long does it last? Fraction of a second. And this sound, is it a flower? It is not a flower. It is absent of flower. So this sound has the quality of the absence of flower. So even this quality, the sound of the absence of flower is also permanent. The sound is impermanent, and the sound disappears within a fraction of a second. So the sound disappears within a fraction of a second, and all the characteristics of this sound as well should disappear along with the sound. For example, if I demolish this fan, all the color, shape, everything of this fan will disappear. So likewise, all the attributes of this sound will stop when the sound stops, including the absence of the flower of the sound. Absence of flower of the sound is permanent, but it lasts as long as the flower lasts, as long as the sound lasts. Sound lasts only for a fraction of a second. So the absence of flower of the sound lasts only for a fraction of a second. So although it lasts very briefly, but it doesn't mean that something which is very brief is impermanent, something which lasts forever is permanent. This is the understanding of permanence, impermanence by the ordinary people. Logically speaking, the concept of permanence, impermanence is way subtler than how the ordinary people understands. Okay, we stop here. Okay, you have the handout. You have the handout. We will chant this, and some of you know how to chant this. Will chant with me, and those who do not know how to chant this will listen to us and then join us. Okay. Okay, how many of you got this? Raise hands. The handout. Okay, and make sure that you don't leave it in your room. Bring it back every time we are together here, or otherwise you can leave it here. Or you want to take it to memorize it, you can also take it, but make sure that in the class you bring this. Okay, ready? Tage tuje shage riso cho shenge mito dege bonjomba serge numbo tabu jebe ku shage gebo kela cha seno mone mone Mahamona Yeswaha Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswaha Tage tuje shage riso chon shenge mito dege bonjomba serge numbo tabo jebe ku shage gebo kela cha seno mone mone Mahamona Yeswaha Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswaha Tage tuj chon shenge mito dege bonjomba serge numbo tabo jebe ku shage gebo kela cha seno mone mone Mahamona Yeswaha mone mone Mahamona Yeswaha mone mone Mahamona Yeswaha mone mone Mahamona Yeswaha mone Mahamunaya Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamunaya Swaha. Okay, 3 processions together.